Yeah, thank you very much for introducing me, and the conference hall is getting empty and empty, so I have the role now to make a small and some remarks about the conference as such, because FIRM, the Frankfurt Institute of Risk Management and Regulation, is a conceptual partner and is also co-sponsoring together with Frankfurt Main Finance this conference. And it's, I think, the edition number 8 of the Frankfurt Finance Summit, which is certainly inscribing itself in the race of building a continental financial hub, which is certainly a little bit more dynamic than it has been before. We all remember when the euro was introduced that there was dreams that certainly may even Frankfurt be a little bit more dynamic than London, but I think this dream has been quite fastly destroyed, seeing the marketplace as far as London as a size, and certainly also the patterns and the tradition of those marketplaces are concerned. I thank very much the different speakers, the organizers, certainly also the organizers behind the curtains, the BFV group, for organizing this the first time, this Frankfurt Finance Summit, and we have seen a lot of improvement and new things, and I can say, however, it has been a better conference as certainly the overall setting is concerned as some editions before. So thank you very much, and a big hand to the organizers behind the curtains. Certainly the conference is part of shaping the future of the certainly emerging new architecture of the finance industry post-Brexit. And I think we have heard a lot from, let's say, the political sphere, from our State Minister of Finance here on the regional level, Mr. Schäfer, but also as a kind of inaugurational speech, a little bit inaugurational speech of Dr. Kukis, a former active participant as far as the capital market is concerned in his new role as a State Secretary in the Finance Ministry in Berlin now, of how the federal government is seeing a little bit the, let's say, the ECOFIN pathway to a deepening of the banking union. And I was also interesting to hear that he made some, let's say, remarks as far as the, let's say, flexibility of the labor law as for a few groups working within the banking industry, especially, meaning certainly a higher level of income, though that the risk of unemployment can be moderated in another way as for people which are a little bit working at the lower end as their pay slip is concerned. I think this was very much interesting. And it was also interesting to hear that now, obviously, the political elites in Berlin are considering that the finance industry, the banking industry, has a tremendous influence of the well-being of societies, and certainly of our societies, the European societies, but also other societies. And as Germany is a kind of engineering nation, very often the finance and banking industry in the political perception is, we have to have it, but obviously this industry is not really creating welfare and value, because the value is certainly created in the manufacturing backbone of the country, and the value creation of the finance industry is not really there. This is certainly a wrong perception, and by the announcement of the initiative that there will be a finance center initiative for Germany, certainly meaning Frankfurt, I think it's going in the right direction. And it's certainly also helping that Frankfurt and Germany and the finance industry here in Frankfurt will play a decisive role as far as this new architecture, the emerging new architecture of the finance industry is concerned. The different remarks of Mr. Dijsselbloem certainly also that before we go further in the banking union, especially as far as the European deposit insurance scheme is concerned, that there must be a kind of risk reduction, was repeated also by Mr. Kukis, and it's very clear that before, I think, especially the northern countries within the Eurogroup will go that path deeper to more integration as far as the finance industry is concerned. There must be done more as far as balance sheet reconstructuring in specific countries has to be implemented, and I think this was also good to hear that, let's see, the risk exposure of the finance industry as such will not be higher in the future. The session on strategy was certainly very much interesting because changing environments, dynamically changing environments, is also the time for the people who are responsible for the strategy to write and to adapt the strategic orientations of the institution. And it was nice to see and to hear about, let's say, the public perspective, presented by Mr. Hufeld from the president of the BaFin, but also from the operators who have to adapt to that changing environment. And I think one of the part of the changing environment was certainly the sessions on EMIR CCP. Quite technically, if you are not really deeply introduced in that, let's say, clearing aspect, nevertheless, we know post-crisis that it is important to have that clearing of the different positions as far as the derivatives is concerned, and that there is competition upcoming, especially from the German Deutsche Börse Group, in order to get a foot into the door and to break up that monopoly. And it was also interesting to hear that the calculations from the Union Investment finally was witnessing that obviously also as price sensitivity is concerned, that price may be lowering. Also, it was interesting to hear from Mr. Merz that obviously the European Central Bank wants to have, let's say, a say in that processes via their role of being responsible for the monetary policy. He was quite clear on that they want to be integrated and involved as far as the future regulations of EMIR CCP is concerned. The conference certainly appreciates the open speech and the shared insight of Sylvie Matarat about the maneuvering, let's call it like that, of Deutsche Bank to regain historical momentum and historical importance. Certainly a journey which is just started again with the new CEO, Mr. Sewing. And I think we all wish good luck because I think it is important that Germany remains a hub for a globally active bank in order, not only in order to support our export industry, but also in order to confirm the importance of the finance industry, which may also have a good hub and an important hub in Frankfurt. I mean, the last session, and we spent more time as expected, is really witnessing and confirming my opinion that we are in the middle of a revolution without knowing. And artificial intelligence is certainly and the finance industry is certainly a prime application of that new, let's say, machine learning implementations and all sorts of let's say, application of artificial intelligence, and will certainly change more our life, not only as far as finance is concerned, but also as all aspects of our life is concerned. Think about smart homes and other things than we may expect. And it's also clear that the educational side, the science side, the research side should put more emphasis on that. And I know also that the Frankfurt School of Finance and Management will just in the fall launch a new graduate Master of Science program, which is dedicated to applied data sciences, meaning finally education and research as far as machine learning and artificial intelligence is concerned. I think this conference has proven that it provides a lot of inspiration, and is certainly that what you can expect as far as participating in a conference is concerned, to improve the different aspects of your businesses, and certainly also the ideas and also the potential for learning was high, and also I think via the presence of the Mr. Kukis, Mr. Dijsselbloem, and Mr. Schäfer, the political framing aspect was highly and professionally presented. So thank you very much again for coming to this conference a whole day long, and have a safe trip back home. Thank you very much again.